Morning. So I'm here at my brother's house and today we're going to do some more tiling. My brother is a tiler in France and we're going to tile the downstairs of his house, which is about 55 square meters, and we're doing it in natural stone on a 4-tile pattern. By that I mean there's 4 different sizes of tile. And it's natural stone. So I'll show you the tiles first. Okay, so these are the tiles in 2 pallets, one there, one there. So it's Travertine, different sizes. We've got the square one there, big one there, rectangle, and then a little one there, and then there's another size as well somewhere right at the back there. Yeah, so we've got the tall one, short square, big rectangle, and large square. This is the adhesive we're going to use, what we call Flex Comfort. Now, the reason we're going to use this is it's designed to go onto unprepared surfaces, so we don't need to put any primer on or anything like that. So that's the room. You can see it's quite large. You can see on the floor there's already tiles. It was two separate rooms, but now it's only one big room. Over in this corner, where are we? Over in this corner here is going to be the kitchen, and this area here is the living room. Now you can see that there's tiles on the floor already on both sides. That's fine because the way they're constructed, you wouldn't remove these tiles. The way it's constructed in France, when they do the screed on the floor, once they've laid it, they then set the tiles actually inside the screed. So if we wanted to remove these tiles, then we'd have to smash the entire screed out, re-screed it, and then put tiles on. It's done slightly differently. But the adhesive that we showed you outside is designed to go on top of tiles. It's designed for this situation. So yeah, it's all ready to go. My brother will explain how he's laid them out, especially with the 4-tile pattern. It's over a large area. Right, Dave, how are we laying this out then?
Well, when you're setting up the tiles, the most important thing is to find a wall that you're parallel with. And find the most important wall. For us it's here, because the kitchen's going here.
So having units all down here?
The units are all going down here, so we don't want the tiles going off at an angle in front of the units. It looks strange.
Because you'll see that the grout lines will be diagonal.
So sometimes that's not possible. But here we're actually quite lucky that this wall is parallel with that wall.
Yeah.
So you take a measurement, 5 metres from one end to the other.
So we've put a string line down, and this is parallel to that kitchen wall, 5 metres distance.
So this is just to give us an idea of where we are. Then I put up another string line, which is square to this one. So you get a set square, and if you've got a bigger one, it's better. And you put that up to that line, and to that line you use this big straight edge here. And that gave us this line here. This then allowed me to work out how out of square this wall is.
And what was there?
And it's out by 120 millimetres.
So from the end where that door is there,
Yeah.
to the end where this door is here, there's 120 mil difference from your string line.
So what we want to avoid is to have a new tile starting at some point in that wall, because then you get a tiny little cut of nothing to a tiny cut as well, and it looks strange. If you do that, you see how out of square the wall is, and that's not what we want. when you're setting up for a 4-tile pattern, if you consider that for your lines that it's the smallest tile, and you use that to set up your tile, because you'll never have a small tile crossing, a grout line crossing the middle of a small tile. So all these, we're considering that all these tiles are 300 by 300. So first, you can't start on a full tile here, because then you'll see the grout with the tile get bigger and bigger. So the next thing is to say, alright, we'll start on a half tile to save on cuts. But then when you get to there, you end up with a tiny cut. So what we're going to start with is a cut of 200mm here, which falls well there. You take if you lay out some of the small tiles, 2 meters of small tiles, because every tile is a slightly different size, then you measure that. So it's actually 195 and a few millimeters. And then you just do 195 and a few millimeters and all the way until you get to here, and you work out how big your cut is at this end. And it works out as a decent sized cut. Now you especially want to be careful around doorways, because if you finish just short here, then it's really difficult, really ugly to put just a tiny bit in front of the doorway.
Especially if
you
you
want to go to the middle of the doorway, so that way when you close the door, you only see this floor, and when you're in the other room, you only see that floor. When you take the same way, you measure from your string line up to here and find out where the cuts fall.
If you weren't sure about the measurements, you could just lay your tiles out, couldn't you? Just do a row.
Yeah,
it takes
well,
more time.
that's what I did. I laid out 10 tiles,
Yeah.
took a measurement of how big 10 tiles are. And
It's worth spending the time, even if you just lay out all the tiles, just to get the best.
it's the most important part.
Yeah.
When you're doing a 4-tile pattern with natural stone, you can cheat a little bit. If you fall a little bit short, say it's a tile like this that falls like that, well, the simple thing to do is use one of these and just extend it. So you use that instead and cut it.
We do it.
We're going to put a string line out from the edge of the big tile all the way down. And rather than do a full pattern, we're just going to follow that all the way along till we get to that end, and then we're going to move back like that.
And then we're going to cut this to fit. Make sure there's no gap there. so that's the first day's tiling done, including the laying out at the beginning. You can see we've got from that far corner all the way down to here. It's not bad, decent. It's about what we expected to do for the day. So back tomorrow and get most of it, probably get all the full towers down tomorrow and maybe some of the cuts. Sorry for it being on the iPhone, left my camera. Morning, day 2. Dave's been here this morning already, mixing stuff up. I'll show you what he's doing. Right. Okay. So we're going to put a waterproof matting down over this section that we levelled, because there used to be a wall here, and we're putting this matting down just in case, because there might not be a damp proof course underneath and we don't want it coming through the tiles. So that's what we're going to do now. So more of the same today. I'm going to have to trim a little bit off the bottom of the door. Right, that's the end of the second day on full tiles. So pretty much everywhere around the room is as far as we can go without cutting the tiles. And we've done that so that this can go up overnight and we can walk on everything tomorrow to get to the corners to do the cuts. There's a bigger than normal gap here because we're going to have an inlaid mat that's sunk into the tiles. So we'll show you that tomorrow when we mark it out. Apart from that, I think it looks very good. We'll just put this level on, as you can see. And as you can see, it's pretty flat. That's our last tile up to the doorway there. So we're good to go then for cuts tomorrow?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be a hard day, but I think it looks great. So yeah, see you tomorrow for the cuts.